After my promotion, my husband's family suddenly needed urgent financial help. When I refused, his mother sobbed. A real daughter wouldn't say no. My husband whispered, "Just help them this once." Instead, I sent a message. The next day, they checked their bank accounts and screamed when they saw what I had done. I'm a 43-year-old woman, married for 12 years. My husband Daryl, 44 male, and I live in St. Louis, Missouri. No kids by choice, decent life, modest house. I've worked for a nonprofit in healthcare for over a decade. It's been a grind. About 6 months ago, I finally got a promotion I had been working towards for years. I became a senior program director, and for the first time in my life, I was making real money. Like, 6-figure salary, bonuses, the whole package. It was a big moment for me. I should have been celebrating. But that moment? It brought out some things I wasn't prepared for. Mainly, my husband's family suddenly remembered I existed. 2 days after I updated my LinkedIn with the promotion, I got a call from my mother-in-law, Deborah. She didn't congratulate me. She started the conversation with a favor. "Hey, sweetie. So proud of you. Listen, Kenny's having some car trouble. It's $3,000. You know how it is. We were thinking, maybe you could help." Kenny is my husband's older brother. He's never held a job for longer than a year. He's always starting some new scheme. Last I heard, he was flipping sneakers. Before that, crypto. Before that, life coaching. I politely said no. Then I got a message from Sasha, Daryl's sister. She has 4 kids, 3 baby daddies, and works part-time when it's convenient for her. Congrats. That's amazing. So I've been trying to get caught up on daycare bills. Could you float me $900 just for this month? Just until tax time. Same day. 2 asks. I was annoyed, but I let it go. Then Kenny texted me a screenshot of a GoFundMe for himself. I didn't click it. I didn't reply. By the end of the week, every single person in Daryl's family had reached out, directly or through him. All asking for help. None offering congratulations. A week later, Daryl asked if we could have dinner with his mom. She just wants to catch up. Celebrate your promotion. I was suspicious but agreed. We went to this mid-level steakhouse near Forest Park. When we arrived, his whole family was already seated. Kenny, Sasha, even one of Sasha's kids, and Deborah. Everyone dressed like they were about to testify in court. Too neat. Too fake. No menus. No food. Just them sitting and waiting for me. Deborah opened with small talk. But 5 minutes in, she slid a manila envelope across the table. We figured it'd be easier if we just put it all down in one place. I opened it. It was a typed list with itemized requests. A total of $12,550. Kenny, $3,200 for car repairs. Sasha, $1,500 for rent, $900 for utilities, $600 for school stuff. Deborah, $6,000 for her mortgage. Miscellaneous family emergencies, $350. I looked at Daryl. He wouldn't meet my eyes. I looked at Deborah. We're family. We support each other. You're basically like a daughter to me. I stayed quiet. Then she said it. A real daughter wouldn't say no. I didn't yell. I didn't cause a scene. I just nodded slowly, folded the paper, and said, "I'll think about it." We left. Daryl didn't say much in the car. When we got home, I went into our bedroom and didn't come out until morning. That night, I went into our joint financial accounts. We've always had one shared checking, some shared credit cards, and separate savings. I had access to everything because I handled all the bills. Over the years, I noticed small transfers, $100 here, $150 there, to his family. But I thought it was occasional. Not enough to worry about. That night, I checked the statements for the last 2 years. Over $8,000 had gone to Kenny, Sasha, and Deborah. And most of it came from the joint account, my paycheck. I woke Daryl up. "You've been sending them money." "Regularly." He didn't deny it. "I didn't want to stress you out. They needed help." I asked him if he thought I owed them something just because I got promoted. He said, "Just help them this once. Then it's over." I said nothing. That night, I made a list of my own. Transferred my paycheck direct deposit to my new personal account. Opened a new savings account and moved $72,000 into it. Closed the joint credit cards. Froze the joint checking account after leaving $127.56. Created an irrevocable trust for my long-term savings and real estate investments. Called my lawyer friend and asked her how soon I could file for divorce if I wanted to. I didn't touch a cent that was Daryl's. I left his money where it was. But I made sure mine was off limits. I didn't tell him. Yet. The next morning, I woke up at 6 a.m. and sent a group message. Yes, a group text. To all of them. "Hi everyone. I've decided not to contribute to the family's financial requests. Please do not ask again. To be transparent, I've separated my finances from Daryl's moving forward. If he chooses to help you, that's his decision. Within 10 minutes, the phone started ringing. Sasha, then Deborah, then Daryl. I didn't answer. Deborah left a voicemail, crying. I always thought of you as my own. This is betrayal. Sasha texted, cold-hearted. Must be nice living high while your family struggles. Kenny just wrote, wow, real classy. At noon, Daryl came home from work early. He looked panicked. Why would you send that message? I asked why he'd been giving away our money without asking. He didn't answer. He asked if we could talk about this. I said I wasn't in the mood. That's when his phone rang. It was Deborah. On speaker. She was screaming. Kenny's bank account had been flagged for fraud. Sasha's debit card got declined at the gas station. Apparently, some of the money Daryl sent them was from a business account I had added him to years ago for a grant program I ran. I had flagged it with the bank. The bank froze the account for investigation. I was still legally in control. They thought I emptied them out. I didn't. I just made sure what's mine stays mine. That same afternoon, after the screaming phone call, Deborah showed up at our house. Unannounced. She pulled up in her old minivan, got out wearing a coat over her pajamas, and banged on our front door like the house was on fire. Daryl opened it. I stayed seated on the couch. I didn't move. She stormed in. You ruined everything. Do you even care what you've done? I told her to calm down or leave. She started crying loud, fake sobs that sounded like a church play. This isn't how family acts. You're punishing everyone over a little help. Just a little. I looked her in the eye and said, your idea of family is using people until they're dry. I'm not dry. I'm just done. She turned to Daryl. And you let her do this? He just stared at the floor. She left without another word, slamming the door hard enough to shake the picture frames. That night, Daryl tried to explain. They were desperate. Kenny's about to lose his car. Sasha can't even buy groceries. I didn't know they'd ask for that much. I asked him, and you were just planning to keep draining money behind my back? It wasn't like that. Then tell me what it was like. He said something I didn't expect. They think you're stuck up. That you think you're better than them now. That hit me hard. Not because it wasn't true, but because he thought it was okay for them to say that about me. And he carried it back into our home like it was normal. I told him, I worked for this. Every damn cent. I stayed up working when you fell asleep watching ESPN. I paid off your credit card debt. I boosted your credit score. I never once made you feel small about it. But now I'm the bad guy for saying no? He just sat there, silent. 2 days later, I found out something that shifted everything. A friend of mine, who happens to be friends with Sasha on Facebook, sent me screenshots of a group chat Sasha had accidentally screenshotted and posted to her story. It was a group chat between Daryl, Deborah, Kenny, and Sasha. Here's what was in the screenshots. Kenny, she'll cave. She's just showing off. Deborah, I'll cry again if I have to. Worked last time. Sasha, if she doesn't pay up, we go to Plan B. Daryl, don't worry. She'll calm down. I'll talk to her. Plan B? I was shaking reading it. What was Plan B? I didn't know yet. But now I knew this wasn't just pressure. This was a setup. My husband was helping them manipulate me. I called my lawyer the next morning. Don't file anything yet. But I need to know what happens if this gets ugly. She was blunt. Get your financial records in order. Print everything. If he's been giving them money without consent, we can build something from it. I spent the whole day downloading PDFs of statements. I made a folder, War Mode. That weekend, the twist hit. I went to my nonprofit's office to drop off paperwork. When I got home, there was a man sitting in my driveway. A stranger. Clean-shaven, wearing khakis and a cheap dress shirt. He introduced himself as a process server. I have a notice for you, ma'am. I opened the envelope. It was a civil suit notice. Filed by Deborah, claiming I promised financial support and breached that agreement. She was suing me for $10,000. In the suit, she included fake screenshots of text conversations, photoshopped. I never said half the things. She claimed I agreed to help the family during hard times and then abandoned them maliciously. I couldn't believe it. Daryl came home while I was sitting at the kitchen table holding the papers. You knew, I said. He looked like a cornered dog. They said it was just a warning. They didn't mean to actually. I threw the papers at him. Get out. Babe, out. He left that night. My lawyer says the suit won't hold, not with how fake the screenshots are. But it'll still go to court. They're forcing me to waste time and energy and legal fees. Deborah, Kenny, and Sasha? They've been posting vague crap on Facebook. Sometimes the devil wears Prada. Don't bite the hand that feeds you. Except I was the one feeding them. And they bit me anyway. After the lawsuit notice, I did what any sane person would do. I shut everything down. No social media. No messages. Changed my passwords. I stayed quiet and let my lawyer do the talking. She filed a motion to dismiss. We had screenshots. I hung up. I didn't yell. I didn't cry. I forwarded everything to my lawyer. Next day, my lawyer called. They wrote a formal complaint, claiming I had mishandled program funds and had mental instability due to domestic stress. Yes, they tried to get me fired. Luckily, I had already informed HR about the situation. My boss called me in. This is personal. We've got your back. Still, it shook me. I had worked my ass off for this job, and they tried to rip it away just to punish me for protecting myself. So here we are. Next week is the first court hearing for Deborah's lawsuit. But that's not the one I'm most interested in. My lawyer is preparing a civil countersuit for defamation, identity misuse, and financial fraud. We're also working with the grant agency to investigate the fake LLC. The GoFundMe? It's been reported. The IRS is now aware of the campaign's false claims. Deborah, Daryl, Sasha, and Kenny have no idea what's coming next. And I'm not stopping. The courtroom was small and quiet, with low ceilings and buzzing fluorescent lights. Not at all like what you see on TV. Deborah was there with her lawyer. So was Daryl. Sasha and Kenny showed up late and sat in the back, smirking. I was calm. I had my binder. My lawyer sat beside me, cool as ice. The judge, older woman, gray bun, no nonsense, asked Deborah's lawyer to explain the claim. My client was promised financial assistance and was emotionally manipulated into believing she would receive support, only to be cruelly abandoned. She is a senior citizen, Your Honor. My lawyer stood and said one sentence, "We have evidence this is entirely fabricated and part of a larger pattern of financial coercion, manipulation, and fraud." She handed the judge the binder. Inside? Everything. The fake texts with metadata proving they were doctored. Financial records showing they had taken money over time. The GoFundMe campaign with false claims. The fake LLC paperwork. Screenshots of the group chat calling me stuck up and plotting a plan B. Bank transfers showing Deborah wasn't broke at all. The judge flipped through it slowly, page by page. Then she said, "This case is dismissed. Immediately. And I am advising the defendants that they are dangerously close to perjury and civil fraud." Deborah gasped. Sasha muttered, "Bitch." Kenny sank lower in his seat. Then the judge added, "You're lucky she's not pressing charges." Yet. I didn't smile. But inside, it felt like fresh air for the first time in months. Court cleared out. People shuffled into the hall. I expected them to leave quietly. They didn't. Deborah came storming toward me. Right there in the courthouse hallway. "You think you've won? You think this makes you better than us?" Sasha yelled from behind her. "She just wants to ruin our lives." That's all this was. Daryl stood frozen. Didn't say a word. I stared at him. "Say something." He blinked. Said nothing. "So I did. You used me. You sold me out for money. You lied. You stood by while your family humiliated me." Deborah pointed a finger at me. "We are family. You don't just walk away from that." Then I said the truth I had been holding for too long. Family doesn't drain you dry and call it love. Silence. Then Kenny, of all people, exploded. "You think you're perfect? You wouldn't be making that money if it weren't for Daryl taking care of you all these years." I looked at Daryl. "Is that what you think?" He finally spoke. "I just wanted to help my family. I didn't know it would go this far." "You didn't know? Or you didn't care?" He opened his mouth, then closed it. Deborah sniffled. Sasha rolled her eyes. Kenny walked out. Daryl stayed. "So what now?" I said it quietly. "Now, we're done." He nodded. That was it. No apology. No tears. Just a tired nod from a man who finally saw the damage he helped cause. Later that week, Deborah took down the GoFundMe. I didn't have to sue them, because the grant agency picked up the fraud investigation on their own. Turns out, using someone else's name to secure federal funds? That's a felony. Daryl was questioned. He didn't get arrested, but he did lose his job. The fake LLC was dissolved. Their accounts were flagged. Sasha posted cryptic quotes for a few weeks. Kenny tried to start another hustle. Deborah stopped calling. Daryl moved into a one-bedroom in Brentwood, near his cousin. I heard through the grapevine he's working part-time at an electronics store. It's been 3 months since the court date. People keep asking me if I'm angry. I was. For a long time. I was angry about the betrayal, the lies, the money. But mostly, I was angry at myself. For ignoring red flags. For trying too hard to be the good wife. For thinking that love meant keeping quiet. But now? I'm not angry anymore. I'm clear. I sleep through the night. I go to work and feel proud again. I stopped waiting for apologies that would never come. And most of all, I finally learned that peace is more valuable than loyalty to people who only love you when you're useful.